What's going on, guys? It is DigiWatch TCG coming to you with a deck profile, and I am coming to you right after winning undefeated in a store championship I had near me, and I am really excited. So I apologize if I do talk a lot during this video. This is the first time I've actually won one of these things, and I did put out a MetalgarurumonX video, but I wanted to showcase the build I used for the tournament. As a report, and as you can see here, we have the store champion pack right here. Let me see if I can focus right here. Okay, so we do have the store championship there. Really exciting. I can't believe I actually won that. That was actually kind of crazy. But I'm going to go over the store championship and the rounds at the end of the video, so definitely stay tuned. But remember, like, subscribe, leave your thoughts below on what you'd like to see next. So starting off, noticeable change here is I'm not running a 5th egg. This is the Sunamon that gives you 1,000 if you have Garurumon in its name. Practically everything we run has Garurumon in its name or Omnimon in its name. So you're always going to have that extra 1,000 on your turn. I just did this for consistency purposes. I didn't like to run the 5th egg. Yes, you can. It doesn't really make too much of a difference, but if you are only going to be swinging with like a level 4, then it kind of does, because sometimes you're not at your level 8, your 8 cards in hand to activate like a Demi V. So through 4 for consistency is what I was playing for there. Then going over the rookies over here. I think this was definitely an underrated MVP of the deck, was the Gabumon over here. Starter deck 9 Gabumon. So this is all turns if you have 8 or more cards in your hand. It gains 1,000. There were times that having the extra 1,000 actually mattered, because they couldn't do things like bounce it to hand or swing over it, because it was just that tiny bit too strong. You want to see it in your raising area first turn, but sometimes it's okay actually just a hard play out, because then you can digivolve into your X antibody and just gain anyway from that. So I played for those. Definitely an underrated card in my opinion, but definitely really good. Only 2 copies of the Gabumon from BT5, and the reason I did only 2 copies is because I think that there were times where I'd play this card and I just send too many valuable pieces to the bottom of my deck, and I'd rather honestly digivolve this at this point in raising, just to have like an extra draw, than actually like whiff and put like ice walls or extra pieces that you need to the bottom like other Gabumons. So I'm only playing 2. But there is but I am making up for it. I am playing 1 copy of the Gabumon that is the draw 1 Gabumon. So this one, just keep in mind when you play it, it really nets you 0, because you're playing a card from your hand, you're getting a Gabumon on the field, or in raising, and you're drawing 1, regardless of if you digivolve in raising or if you just hard play it out. So usually most of the time I like to put my Gabumon who has the inherits possibly in my raising, and then just have this Gabumon out, as your draw 1, and then you can digivolve into your other pieces later on. So I am running one of those. 1 Madoki. Honestly, there was times where I just wanted to commit this to board so they couldn't gain memory, but I don't know if I would ever. At this point, I don't know if I would play more than 1. I can't really find too much space to change out, and you draw a lot in this deck anyway, and so sometimes you will just end up pulling your Madoki and just having it in hand at some point, either for a free Digivolution or just hard playing and saying no to memory gains. And then we were playing 4 of the X antibody, so this was definitely another all-star of the match. Being able to search for pieces and digivolve for free onto Gabumon is just really, really good. And there are times where you do want to just get this into raising so you have an extra draw. But it does feel good when you do commit like a Gabumon in raising and a Gabumon on the field and just get extra pieces. There was like times where I went second and I hard played the Gabumon that lets you search, and then you just digivolve on top and you get again. And remember, you're trying to get to 8 cards as soon as you can. So this is actually really, really good in terms of the build I was running. So that's our rookie lineup over here. We're playing 12 of them. I don't know. Again, I don't think I would change too much out of that. Going into our 4 lineup, this really hasn't changed since when I did the first deck profile. 3 Garurumons, the promo ones, 3 of the BT5, and 4 of the X antibody. Um, Early game, you want the Garurumon lets you draw 1. Late game, you want the Garurumon that gets you +1 thousand all turns if you have 8 or more. I think a Garurumon in its name. Because again, this is kind of the same reason why the other Gabumon is really good in here. It's just being able to build up your stack to have on both turns. Having that additional DP gain is sometimes very hard for your opponent to out. And then this is the heart of the deck. Absolutely, is the Garurumon X antibody. And there will be times where in raising, I just didn't have my pieces, but I had to get to my higher level 5s and 6s, so I would just commit it and then draw into like my Garurumons. I'm sure there are players out there that would absolutely relate to that, but as long as you got to like 2 level 5s or 2 level 3s underneath it, it really didn't matter too much. Yes, you lose the draw, and sometimes you don't want to draw and raise. Digivolve and raising, you want to wait till you bring it out, and you have your Cool Boy committed to the field, so you get an extra memory from that. So I absolutely understand that, but I wouldn't change this ratio personally at all. I think it's perfect the way it is. Our level 5s, we are not changing too much. I think since the deck profile as well, we are playing 4 of the Garurumons from promo ones. That, you know, if you don't have these, unfortunately, I don't think this is the best deck for you, but if you are playing it, it's really, really good. Having a Garurumon underneath it and just being able to swing multiple checks and having an inherited it gets you +1 security came in so many times. I played a D-Reaper matchup today, and this actually had to, like, this was your win con for that, so I was just trying to make sure I can have like 1 or 2 copies in hand, or have like a third and just have something in raising, so I can turn off his gatekeepers or just still do checks to his security even with the gatekeepers. And the thing is that like against like a D-Reaper deck, they don't really have many outs to get over this. The deck I was facing was playing like the yellow package of like Starmons and stuff, and he wasn't able to. He would just have to be able to swing over it. So as long as it has protection, like, you're gonna able to do more checks to your security. 3 copies of MetalX. I honestly, this is probably one of the best cards in the deck. Just being able to bounce level 4s. In my, I placed the armor matchup. Bouncing cards back to hand is just, it feels so good with this deck. And then just being able to swing, Digivolve into this, gain memory, and then just unsuspend and just do multiple checks is really good. And then 1 Sag mode. Sag mode actually came in really clutch at one point today. I didn't have a level 4, the level 4 X antibody underneath this, and so I had to go into this later and just be able to have that extra protection going to my MetalgarurumonX so that I could trash 2 copies underneath it. So I trashed 2 level 3s out, and then I trashed level 2 level 5s. I don't think I would change the 5 lineup personally at all. I think the MetalGarurumon is absolutely needed, the X and this, but if you, I don't really see any harm if you're going to change this out for the 4th copy of the MetalGarurumon X. Going into our level 6s, 1 copy of the MetalGarurumon from EX1. If I find room, I definitely want to put another one in here, because there's times that you want to gain so much memory from this, and it's just sad I can't find anything to take out at the moment. I'm sure there will be comments here that say like you should take this out and that's your spot. But I've been going back and forth with my ratio, and I think 1 Metal Gray is MetalGarurumon is fine, and then 3 copies of MetalX. Most of the time, this is why I say like 1 is probably fine. Is most of the time you want to put your X antibody option underneath it, and you're drawing so much into this deck. There's not going to be a point where you actually don't have the piece you're looking for. Whether it's the X antibody or just hard playing this, you swing with your level 5, you hope it survives, and then you Digivolve into this to either have it as a blocker or be able to bounce one of your opponent's stuff to hand, and then 1 Omnimon for game. It's Omnimon. I think the max stack you want with this personally is going into MetalGarurumon, going into the X, and then going to Omnimon, because it can't be deleted, or if it is, you can trash a level 6 underneath it, so you can save it twice. Plus, if you have the cards underneath it that keep it from being deleted in battle, then you can basically make it immune to a few turns, unless you're playing like yellow cards like Wyvern's Breath and such. But yeah, that is the Digimon lineup here. Nothing too crazy different from most other builds in all fairness. Um, but I think honestly, what's going to show the differences is the tamers and the options here, or at least the ratios, I should say. And I want to talk about something of this format after I finish some of my things here. So two cool boys. Not playing three. Just couldn't find room on it, but being able to get your pieces is obviously really good, and you digivolve on the same levels a lot in this deck. One Analog Youth. This is a really underrated card because if you keep in mind, if you're swinging against cards that do a lot of deletion effects, you're playing against something like purple, or you're playing against reds, or something that does deletion, or even just being able to kill a level 5. Tapping the Analog Youth to gain a memory is really good. Sometimes your opponent just doesn't suspect it that you're gonna do it, and hatching early is also really good because then you can start building up your second stack in raising. Some people have elected to put the metalgarurumon that's from BT1, and I think that's fine, but I don't really like to put like just another card out, especially with mirror matches being able to balance a level 4 to hand. So like you just kind of just gave him an extra card to hand, but now you still have to still build up in raising. So I'd rather have that stack ready in raising. One hero and one Matt and Sora. The reason why not two heroes is because the hero over here, you are just looking for a memory tamer. That's the reason why you're doing this, and you need it to be red, of course, as well, because we are playing the ADP package. But there are times where you just want extra memory just to go like further and just OTK your opponent, and so having both of these out at the same time, starting you at 5, and most of the time you want to be promoting like a level 5 out, and basically you can go into your level 6s, you can play other cards, you can keep it your turn for quite a bit using this strategy. Plus, if you unsuspend, you can get rid of a rookie by tapping the Sora Matt. So that's the tamer lineup over here. And then lastly, the options over here, we are playing 2 of the X antibody. I think 2 is fine. Some people play 3. I was playing 3 as myself, but I think 2 is fine. I really don't see it being need more than 3. If you are going to be digivolving, you're usually going to go into at least 2 stacks if one doesn't get deleted. And if you go into that second stack and you don't have this like most of the time, you have most of the other pieces you need. So Kakaitis Breath at 2. You just need bombs and security, honestly. And there were in a mirror match I was playing in my finals match was against MetalX. Is I just kept bouncing back to hand, and he ended up running out of pieces that he could kind of use. 2 blue memory boost. This kind of acts as a semi searcher from like a rookie, or and then it keeps that delay option of being able to gain memory later in the game. So this definitely came in clutch. 1 Ice Wall because Ice Wall. 1 Hammer Spark because sometimes you need the extra memory to just finish your playoff, and then 2 ADPs. I think 2 is absolutely needed in this deck. I was preparing myself in all fairness, against players who were going to be playing like Beelstar and Security Control, and I tested this deck this way using the blue base without any of the red options in there, or like the ADPs, and it lost to everything. It just was way too slow. So I don't think I'm going back. I'm thinking I'm just going to stick with this format with the red package, especially with people putting so many options in their security. I think this is necessary. So that's the deck profile. Now I'm going to just really quickly talk about my matches and what and something about this. I want to just talk about the format in a second as well. So my round 1 was against D-Brigade, and that was probably my scariest matchup because I've never won against D-Brigade in all fairness. I lost in a locals match with D-Brigade. I lost in the regionals against D-Brigade. They're just too quick sometimes, and I got very lucky in just being able to be smart about how I was playing and putting cards out and when I should be putting cards out, and just being able to bounce cards back to their hand. And it was a very close match. He lost only because I think he hit his security, hit an ice wall, pass turn to me, and that was really honestly what did it for him. Otherwise, I think he would have ended up having it. I also was choking him at one a lot, so he would only be able to play one and just pass turn, or play two pass turn, or I would have to, making him use his grumble essentially. Round two was against Armor Rush. That was probably a really hard matchup because he went to Magna X a few times, and I couldn't swing his security when I needed to, and I was running really low on my level sixes. And there were times where he digivolved with the DP gain that Magnamon gives it, and I couldn't do anything. I was trying really hard to try to out it, and he played a really good match, and fortunately, I won in the final game, just by putting him to, I think, two with like nothing on the board, and he had like a what's it called, a Matt it's Davis Ken on the field, but no Digimon. So yeah, that was a crazy match. Shout out to Justin, a really good match. Round three was against D Reaper, and again that was good, but my opponent did make a slight misplay at the end. He swung into my Garurumon thinking he could get rid of it, and it had two more bodies underneath it, and he didn't realize that. And I just took out the two bodies and kept it safe. And then so he had a suspended gatekeeper, and I was just able to swing over it and then swing for game. But D Reaper is definitely a hard matchup if you don't see your pieces right away. Absolutely, it was a crazy match. And then round four was a mirror match with MetalGaruru, and he opened up way too good. Like, he was double threes, double fours, start five, pass turn, and then I was like, here's my three, here's my regular four, here's my regular five, here's to you. And he was able to do a couple of checks to my security. But actually, I had a Kakai's Breath in hand, so I Kakai's this whole stack back to hand, and he just lost a lot of pieces. And then by the end of game one, he ended up not having enough of the level 5 to be able to swing for game, and I was able to just win because he couldn't do the final check to security, because he decked out in this on the game one. And game two, kind of reversed the role. I pulled like an amazing god hand of like the Gabumon X, all through the level 5, and then he went and basically started with some pretty good plays, like playing like Gabumon, playing a cool boy, stuff like that, and passing turn. And then I was just able to get a bit too much advantage on him, and his Omnimon was in security, and I had my Omnimon in hand, so I was able to swing and win for game. But overall, really good. And one thing I want to mention, this is the thing I want to mention about the format, is I think this format, every deck is actually really good. I think Grandis is, I think MetalGarurumonX, I think Gaiamon, I think everything is really good for especially the aggressive decks. But I think it's a format that's driven by how well the person is piloting the deck. So you got to know the matchup, you got to know what to put out when you're supposed to put it out, and when everything is ready, or when you can get rid of their stack without them having something new to digivolve into. Like, I waited for my opponent to bring his stuff out so I could Kaitis Breath it, and just like he had to start over, and then I could do my checks, and hopefully he has nothing in his security that can kind of kill me. So kind of like knowing the matchup is, I think, more important than actually what deck you're choosing. And you choose your favorite color, you choose your favorite Digimon, whatever you want to do. I honestly think that is probably how you're supposed to be playing this format. I know that next format we go wide again with a lot of different cross heart stuff, but I do hope that some people will still be playing these decks. Especially, I want to consider playing this deck BT 10 when it comes out. But yeah, definitely check it out. Please like, subscribe, leave your thoughts below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all my opponents. I think everyone played really good games. It absolutely felt like a good store finals for me. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.